your session at the Nordic Integration Summit earlier this year, and your topic was monitor your integration using Open Telemetry. What aside from what you already talked about, what was your point in that session for those who didn't listen?
The point is to be aware of Open Telemetry.
Mm.
I think that is kind of my thing. I think the response has been great. I got the rating also afterwards, and it seemed like that people enjoyed my session, and also I talked to a lot of people, and for some it has been an eye opener. For me, it is the reason for the session was more like to get people aware of what's out there.
Mm.
And that Open Telemetry actually, integration is a black box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is or it has been for so many years, right?
Mm.
So, and my point of view is Open Telemetry is suddenly a way for you to expose that data.
Mm.
To a lot of companies, they use Splunk, Datadog, Dynatrace, Bumblebee, or whatever they are called, right? And I don't know if Bumblebee is actually a software, but it's there are so many solutions out there.
Mm.
And when we have systems like Azure, they come with Azure Monitor.
Mm.
When you have BizTalk, you don't have BizTalk Monitor, but you have something like Node-Night, BizTalk 360. You have System Center.
There is
You have
Facebook
different,
Health Monitor also. Yeah,
yeah,
that's an old one.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but still, it's BHM is still, yeah.
Mm.
So, and then when you go into AWS, you might have something else, right?
Mm.
What happens is that which way you choose to go, you will end up having a new kind of analytics. They always put in more. If you have
Yeah.
Mule, then you have your Mule analytics. If you have, I don't know, you have different for any kind of platform. They have their own
Yeah.
tool. But with Open Telemetry, actually, we can achieve this transparency. We have no vendor lock-in any longer. If you are, I mean, Azure Monitor is fine, but I don't know if I can say that in this, but it sucks in
Yeah,
some,
yeah.
in some
No,
ways,
but
right?
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
you can say whatever you want to say there. Actually, there is no we are not censoring the
No.
content in that way. But what I was trying to say here is like it's as you say, there is the best tool for the best use.
Hmm.
That's what I was. But now we are you are not trying to talk about the telemetry as a tool.
No,
It's a you want it to have as a part of the solution. If I understand you right.
hmm. Exactly. And I would want, for instance, for all the different integrations we have out there, we have something like traces now in Open Telemetry.
Mhm.
So it makes sense for us, to see what kind of data entered our application and what kind of data left our integration. Also, let's see what happened in between.
Mm.
In Logic Apps, we have this, right? We have, you can see in BizTalk, we have, send ports, receive locations, you have your
Yeah.
tracking. It's worse with orchestrations, but still you have it, right?
Mm.
Um, but if you build stuff with Azure Functions, it gets difficult, right?
Mm.
Mm.
You don't have this designer that shows what's happening, and especially when you have integrations that have, we talk a lot about Azure, right? But a lot of customers have multi-cloud scenarios.
Yes.
AWS, Microsoft, they are really living on-prem.
Yeah.
And what happens if we have, when data is being created on-prem, you have different microservices on there. You might have a Kafka or whatever that, streams your data, and
Mhm.
then suddenly it goes into Azure. And sometimes we just look into Azure, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. It really just doesn't. It makes sense
No.
from an integration observability perspective to look if you are responsible for maintaining a solution.
Yeah.
But from a business side, I would want to know what happens. How many messages are we sending? Where is the cost? How many issues do we have?
Mm.
Does it even make sense for us for the response time to have it still on prem, or why are we? It's
Yeah.
Open Telemetry opens.
You need a wider vision to
Yeah.
actually create a business value because
Yeah.
you cannot keep talking in low level in the
No.
Azure resource groups or
And I like what you talked about transparency, and that's not an issue, but it's a challenge for us as integrators to actually open that black box and actually show people? Because I mean, I guess that anyone involved in integration has been somewhere involved with an issue where it's like, but I didn't do anything. The integration has been
Hmm.
running for ages, so nothing happened in integration. But still, the business feel like, but
Hmm.
something is wrong.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
if you have then a customer, let's say that the customer would have something like, I don't know, Splunk or whatever, it doesn't
mm,
matter. Then, from an integration point of view, I would say, you know what? I don't want you to go to me and ask me what happened in the integrations. Let me tell you, let me send the data to a Splunk or
yeah,
whatever. Then you
mm,
would have, have your Splunk. In Splunk, you would have an OTLP endpoint that
mm,
you, from the integration point, send the data to.
yeah,
And, Splunk, the business side is most likely already using Splunk.
yeah,
So they don't need to learn anything else. They have the same data, and then we can create this dashboard in a tool they are already using, right?
mm.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly. And I think people are more and more now starting to shift the designs towards this way, because you have now Fabric,
Mm,
which is gonna be unite how you're gonna be visualizing your data and how you process your messages,
mm,
and
Hmm.
that will maybe be the opener for, like, it will need to be fed with data. And
yeah,
I think if we started to create those what do you call it, points that in our designs,
mm,
and send those data,
mm,
Yep.
then it can be unite somewhere.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
I guess that the business no longer, and maybe they had never had, accepts like the black box thing, that
no,
they don't accept that stuff just
No.
don't work.
it's not magic anymore.
Nice,
No,
No.
no
nice.
one is getting impressed.
No,
We
no,
need to
no one's
impress them
getting
in other
impressed.
ways.
Yeah,
Yeah,
No. And
uh,
I think from a professional point of view, I wouldn't even aim for something lower,
no,
because from an integration perspective, we are aware that integration is a black box, right?
yeah,
yeah,
So we
yeah.
shouldn't even, allow us to create black boxes, right?
No, exactly,
no,
exactly. You should,
So,
yeah.
and that should be something in the offering for the, for the customers, that you know what, we don't build black boxes. We
Mm,
want you to be part of it.
mm,
You should be the one that is in control. We just provide, the functionality and
yeah,
the
the
data.
solution. Mm.
Yeah.